I'm watching Fox News last night, and I have no problem with this girl. I'm not even going to say her name. But they put this bimbo on who's just an Instagram bimbo. She's an Instagram conservative. And they put this bimbo on primetime Fox News to talk about Israel. And she's got a horrible camera. It's choppy, and it's a bimbo. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, this is it. This is exactly the problem here. They won't have Owen Shroyer on to talk about being a speech prisoner in America. They'll have some airhead bimbo conservative on Instagram on to talk about Israel.
Now, you might know this guy named Owen Shroyer, Infowars.com, host of The War Room, is going to prison. And now you might ask yourself, okay, well, why is he going to prison? What's going on here? What did this guy do? Maybe he murdered somebody. Maybe he was doing some inside trading. Maybe he was doing some illegal business deals with the Ukraine, or perhaps he was doing a lot of drugs and banging prostitutes, or maybe he was doing those drugs at the White House. I mean, so many possibilities on why Owen Shroyer is going to prison. Well, I happen to do just a little bit of research, just a little tiny bit of research to see if maybe I'm right. I had all these theories that he could be going to prison for. Well, it turns out I was wrong on all of them. So the real deal of why Owen Shroyer is going to prison. Infowars host Owen Shroyer sentenced to 60 days in J6 case. The conspiracy theorist was with Alex Jones on the grounds of the Capitol on J6, but never entered the building. So this guy never entered the building at all whatsoever, sentenced to 2 months in prison, proving the point that he is a political prisoner, not for the Ukraine, not for, Gaza or Israel, but for our own United States government. Let's check out a video of what Owen had to say.
Owen Shroyer here, and I am about to turn myself in to be a speech prisoner in Biden's America. Unfortunately, we knew that things would get this bad. Unfortunately, we knew the Democrats were this corrupt, and now I have to hit the front lines and be a speech prisoner in Biden's America. So in the meantime, while I'm away, I've launched this Twitter account at Owen Shroyer 1776. It's actually run by a media team. It's not run by me, but my media team, who will be giving you updates while I'm incarcerated, daily updates while I'm incarcerated, sharing old video clips, new video clips, and as well as phone audio recordings and maybe even live recordings while I'm away. So please follow this account at Owen Shroyer 1776 for updates while I'm away, and spread this video far and wide to let others know, hey, Owen Shroyer is back on Twitter right here at Owen Shroyer 1776. And that year, 1776, is extremely important, not just because it was the founding year of our country, but the U.S. government is arguing that it's illegal for me to say 1776 in Washington, D.C. Don't believe me? Check the U.S. government sentencing memo for yourself. They said that me chanting 1776 in Washington, D.C. is worthy of 60 days in prison. So, it's Owen Shroyer 1776. Please share this video, let people know I'm back on Twitter, and follow this account for updates while I'm away. Godspeed and God bless.
Very cool, very cool. Like I said, guys, I like to do fact checking around here. Owen Shroyer chanting 1776. So we did check out the United States government sentencing memo that he had mentioned in that video. And after quite a bit of pages, it's 30 pages long, but after quite a bit of scrolling, we over here at Project VOPod finally found out what he was talking about. And it is here. Let me take a little bit of a zoom in for you guys. 30 minutes and 31 seconds, Owen Shroyer and others nearly reached the top. He began to use his megaphone to lead the large crowd in various chants, including USA and 1776, an apparent reference to the first American Revolution and the renewed need to overthrow the government. You see the words that they use, to overthrow the government, insurrection, etc. Okay, 1776 is when we got our independence from Great Britain, a tyrannical government. We came to the new land. Britain said, fuck that, we're gonna take you guys, you're coming back to be British. We kicked their asses, signed the Declaration of Independence, our founding fathers won, and the United States of America was born in 1776. Okay, we didn't overthrow anything, we got our independence. But see, notice the wording that they're using here is that he's chanting 1776 as a sign to overthrow the government. If you're not good with history, you're gonna fall for this garbage right here. But if you're not a retard out there and you read this, you know that they're bullshitting, right? 1776, USA, put him in prison. We got plenty of criminals in our own government that serve zero prison time. The media, everybody out there is continuing to push this whole propaganda that J6 was the worst thing that anything could have ever happened. It's worse than September 11th, 2001, on the 1 year anniversary. Kamala Harris, check this out, stating just that.
Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941.
Pearl Harbor.
September 11th, 2001. And January 6th, 2021.
Oh, boy.
On that day, I was not only vice president-elect, I was also a United States senator. And I was here at the Capitol that morning at a classified hearing.
All right, so you guys get the point, right? You guys get the point. People like the Democratic Party, and she's not the only one, the pinheads and the parrots and all of the ones that are in charge of pushing said propaganda are doing the same thing. One specifically, I did a video. The Lincoln Project, the founder of the Lincoln Project, I believe his name was Steve Schmidt, and he went on this podcast right here saying J6 was worse than 9/11, right? Check out the video in more detail about that. But this is what we're seeing time and time again, right? This is the ludicrous that's happening in our government. So let's read this article in more detail, right? Owen Shroyer is one of only a handful of J6 participants charged with a crime despite having neither entered the Capitol building nor been arrested of committing violence or destruction on the Capitol grounds. Shroyer was sentenced by the U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly, who last week sentenced Proud Boys founder Enrique Tarrio to federal prison for the longest term yet for a J6 defendant, 22 years. So 22 years, okay? Enrique Tarrio, who was one of the leaders of the Proud Boys, right? Sentenced 22 years for simply trespassing on Capitol grounds. He didn't enter the building. He wasn't destroying anything, but he was the Proud Boys leader. Another United States political prisoner. The Proud Boys supposed to be a white supremacist group. Their leader isn't even white. He isn't even white. The Proud Boys leader is not even a white guy. But that doesn't stop them from calling them racist and throwing them in prison for any excuse that they can find, right? Meanwhile, you got the BLM riots that happened for 6 months based off of a lie. Now we know Derek Chauvin, did not kill George Floyd. He died of an OD at the time. So, but where's his justice as well? There probably nobody cares. Throw him in prison, throw away the key. What you can't kill is the ideas here. One thing that I've learned growing up, when I was a young kid, I remember learning history. I didn't really care for history that much, but I remember telling all my friends when I was in like elementary school, middle school, probably at the time, and I said, why do we even learn history? What's the point of history? We're never going to use this in a job. We're never going to need history. Why do we need to learn history, right? I didn't understand it at the time. Now that I'm older, I realize history is extremely, extremely important to learn in a sense so that we don't repeat history as time goes on. And it looks like this is the reason why we need to learn it, so that we don't fall for it. And the ones that don't know history will sit there and say, well, you know, who cares if YouTube is censoring people? Who cares if, you know, oh yeah, well, they were on the Capitol grounds, so they shouldn't be doing this. And yeah, he's saying these crazy things, but I don't agree with what he's saying, so who cares if he goes to prison? The US government's not going after me, so why should I care? Those are the people that don't know history, all right? You could tell that to the Jews in the 1940s in Germany, right? Tell them, hey, don't worry about it. The government's never going to go after you. You can look at their neighbors and say, oh, don't worry. The government's not going to go after you if you do something bad. Like, just follow the directions and you're good, right? That right there is the wrong side of history. That's when people start having their freedoms slowly but surely being taken away. And this is an example. They start with people like an Owen Shroyer, like an Alex Jones, throw him in prison, charge him $1 billion, say, hey, you can't file for bankruptcy as well, and throw away the key. You could keep throwing these guys in prison, your Donald Trumps, your Owen Shroyers, your Alex Jones, your Andrew Tates. But at the end of the day, the ideas still live. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be people out there like myself, like Elijah Schaffer, like Steven Crowder. All those dudes are still, no matter what, going to be talking using their First Amendment rights. This is why they want to take away our First Amendment, so that we can't do this, so that they can throw us in prison for misgendering somebody like they're already doing over there in Canada. Let's not fall for it. Learn your history. We learn from history, okay? If you think that they're not going to come knocking on that fucking door, be prepared. And when they do, just remember, I warned you. Look at history. It always repeats itself. Just be prepared for it. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Owen Shroyer on his way to prison. And like, subscribe, comment down below. I'm going to leave you with one last video from Owen on his sentencing, and then we will call it, man. Have a good one. This has been Project VO Pod. I'm your host, Jake Varr. Trump 2024. Peace.
For 60 days while I'm in there, I'm going to try to improve myself and become a better person. And so I offer you this challenge. For the 60 days that I'm away, from the next time that you see my face and hear my voice, I challenge you to become a better person. Use this 60 days while I'm away to improve yourself. If I can improve myself in there, then you can certainly improve yourself out here. My final message to you, my loving audience: God bless, Godspeed.